What's going on, you guys? This is my first time going live. Let's see how many viewers we get checked in. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, we have one like. Am I able to see comments on here? Uh, I, what's going on, you guys? We have two viewers so far. This is my first time going live, so you guys are gonna have to forgive me on uh, how to work this thing. What's going on, William? You doing all right? Where are you guys checking in from? I'm doing pretty good. Hey, what's going on? Alexius? What's going on, you guys? Oh, Arizona, nice. We just passed through there on our way up here to Coachella, and actually, we may be passing back through there depending on where this equipment goes. Norway, wow. What is the weather like over there? I've always wanted to visit over there, but the weather always looks so pretty. Tell me if I'm wrong, but what is the weather like in Norway? South Carolina, nice, nice. I really like it out there. I used to stay in Atlanta for a little bit on the southwest side out there in Fairburn, and South Carolina is kind of similar to like the hills and the reddish clay kind of stuff that's always all over the place. Oh, Southern California. Okay. What part of I can't even say it. What part of Southern California? Because we're out here in Coachella for until this weekend. We've been here for about a week and a half or so far. It's good now, but the winter is bad here. Okay, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Norway. I mean, going around the United States is one thing, but seeing other countries is always fun. Los Angeles, okay, nice. Have you been to the Coachella Music Festival? Being right here in Los Angeles, this is my first time. My first time going. And right now, I'm just here hanging out at the TA in Coachella, just chilling out from the coast of North Carolina. Hey, okay, nice. Is the weather better over there? I was over there, I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. I was over there when I met just trucking at the truck show. I had took a load from the Louisville area and took it out there to what's that, Simpsonville area, to that what's the name of that place? To the Michelin plant. Yes, 2 times. If you knew where you were going to be there, I could have gonna meet you. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I'm right here at the TA, right here next to that awful truck wash. They did a horrible job on my truck, you guys. Awful job. Get my wallet out of here. I was actually really disappointed. They just kind of pressure washed the truck a little bit, used a little bit of soap. I mean, Blue Beak is not the best place in the world, but uh, I mean, they would have done a way better job than these guys here. So, Alexius, when you went to the Coachella, what was your experience? It was definitely different for me, being from Texas. Um, let's see how long. We'll be here. So we're hauling Bad Bunny's tour freight. me and about 18 other Landstar trucks. So he's performing tonight, and so after he performs, we're getting loaded back up. I think he goes on at like 10, 11 o'clock, maybe midnight tonight. And so once he finishes, they're loading us up, and we're taking the freight wherever we're going next. Where that is, I have no idea. Uh, all they told us is that some of the freight goes to Pennsylvania, and the other half of the freight goes to Miami, but we have no idea who's going where yet. So, and guys, I am not trying to go to Miami. That I am in Coachella, California. I am not trying to go to Miami. Um, I wouldn't be too mad about it because I'm just going to take I-10 straight out there, and I get to go home for a day or two in Houston. Uh, but other than that, Miami, come on. And then the freight, being an owner operator, I have to find a load coming out of Florida. And if you guys know, Florida has the worst loads trying to find a load coming out. So having to drive all the way to Miami and trying to find a load coming out of there and driving through Miami, like all of those collectively, I'm not gonna do any of that. I prefer going to Pennsylvania because it'll be easier finding a load coming out of there. I mean, but still, Pennsylvania is like 2,500 miles away. Man, hey, Asian food, man, Chinese food is my weakness, dude. Woo! Let me tell you. Like my family's from the St. Louis area, and whenever we go to St. Louis to go visit family or just to hang out, White Castle, if y'all know what I'm talking about, White Castle, Chinese food, and what else do we do? Emo's Pizza, if you know, you know. Emo's Pizza, and what else? There's another place we always eat at out there. I can't think of that other one. But yeah, St. Louis always has some good food, but Chinese food, man, oof. Let me see. You guys check it in. Where y'all from? Yeah, White Castle burgers. In St. Louis, we call them gas burgers because they will mess you up. I mean, they're really good going in, but coming out, they can be brutal. Man. But you guys just checking in. Where you guys from? Just kind of curious to see where you guys are from. But yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm just chilling here at the Coachella TA. I got one of my buddies over there next to me. He's parked up, and low key, we're just kind of hiding out over here because all the other drivers are over there at the Coachella lot, waiting for tonight's show so we can grab that Bad Bunny tour freight and take it wherever it needs to go. Oh, okay. Yeah, lived in Houston, Texas. I worked at the Gillies up there in Pasadena. Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah, I live right there north of Pasadena, north of like the Channelview, Baytown area. Right there, the little town called Dayton. That's where I live at right now. I just had to get out of that big city feel. Um, and one of the videos y'all will kind of see, the little back roads I take to get home or whatever. But yeah, Houston, born and raised out there. But like I said, my family's from St. Louis and Detroit, and but St. Louis more specifically. So we try to go out there as much as we can to go visit family and stuff. But my wife, her family is they're somewhat from Houston, Austin area, but on her dad's side, they're Colombian, and so a majority of her extended families out there in Colombia or I think the Miami area, and there's a little bit the ones that migrated over here from in Miami or Austin in those two places. But yeah, they're mostly in Colombia, and so eventually I want to take her down there. 'Cause I've never been. I don't think she's been. We want to go check out Colombia just to experience something different than the United States. But yeah, Houston, Texas, born and raised. I love Texas. I know exactly what you're talking about. I lived in Baytown for a bit. Yep, yeah. Baytown is not my favorite place to be with all the chemical plants. Pasadena too, with all the chemical plants and all that stuff. And now you have the plants blowing up every 2 3 months or so, somebody does something crazy and something blows up. Even in the Beaumont area too. Beaumont, something's always going on. But we wanted to get out of Houston just because Houston's getting crazy, and I didn't realize it until I was in trucking and uh, leaving town and then going back into the city. You you just see a lot of craziness going on, and it took me getting out to go back in to see what was really going on. And so now I said I never want to get a phone call being on the road saying something happened at home, and so we moved on the outskirts, and we love the country life, just the space. My wife, she's having. I'll do some videos of that in the future. She's growing her garden. Our backyard just has a bunch of trees. I need to go back there with a chainsaw and start knocking some of that stuff down. But just the space and the freedom to kind of do what we want to do. We don't have an HOA. Um, it's really great. Like we just love the space and we love the freedom out there. But the rest of you guys, where you guys checking in from? The ones who are just checking in. Like I said, I'm here at the Coachella TA, just hanging out, waiting for Bad Bunny to perform. I'm probably going to go during his performance. I'm trying to find out who his special guest is. I've heard a few rumors who his special guest might be, so I want to go check that out just to kind of be nosy. But I'm just waiting. I do want to go just to kind of check it out. So once I guess about 8 or 9 o'clock our time. Right now it's about almost 6:20 our time. Once it gets to about 8 9 o'clock, I'll go down there because as you can imagine, that Coachella traffic is crazy. So I'm gonna go get parked, go check in, and then go check out Bad Bunny. I mean, I don't speak Spanish. I won't know a word he's saying, but I still want to go check it out. I missed last week's performance because they had called all the truck drivers and they told us to all line up before he performed to get ready to go grab his equipment. But we just sat there for like an hour and a half, twiddling our thumbs, waiting to get loaded up. So this week I'm just gonna be like, hey, sorry, not sorry. I'll be at the truck, when I get there. So I don't speak Spanish. I won't know a word he's saying, but I still want to see the show because I saw some of the props, and the props really got me curious to what this show is going to be like. There was a rapper, I think his name is Post Malone. I've heard of him. I don't listen to his music. I've heard of him, and I heard that has some mic complications or whatever. I saw on what's it called, TMZ. As you guys could say, I'm not really in tune with the artist. What's going on now? Hey, you should play the piano on stage. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Actually, a lot of people don't know is that before trucking hit, my wife and I we had a music lessons company to where we taught piano, guitar, drums, bass guitar, uh, even some of y'all might not believe this, but even ukulele. Yes, ukulele. I had a student that came in or that signed up for our company that wanted to learn ukulele, and I wasn't going to turn down a client. And so while I was teaching that client ukulele, I always just stayed like 2 lessons ahead. So I was learning while they were learning. But it's a stringed instrument, so it wasn't as difficult for me to learn it. And so I just stayed like 2 steps ahead of them while I was teaching easy stuff, like the concept of ukulele. I was staying like 2 pages ahead just to kind of get the concept of what came next. So, hey, what's going on, Roberts? So yeah, so that was fun. But we had a music lessons company. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more, incorporate some more of the piano and the music. I really wanna bring my guitar on the road, guys. I don't like the idea because people are so crazy out here nowadays with stealing and breaking into trucks. But I do want to bring my guitar. But like I said earlier, we taught piano, guitar, drums. I guess y'all saw the video I posted of Blackpink of them performing live. And guys, that drummer, oh my gosh, I was more entertained by the drummer than I was Blackpink. Being out of tune, I didn't know who Blackpink was. My wife was the one like, hey, you should go video Blackpink and see if you can get backstage. She said they're really big. They're really international artists. I said, okay, cool. I'll go back there and check it out. And they were they were awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was really impressed with their performance. But that drummer, you guys, I think I got more footage of the drummer than I did of the actual Blackpink performance. But drums, that was one of my favorite instruments to play. But I started on piano, um, and then but guitar was my passion. So a bit of a backstory. My mom has signed me and my siblings up for piano lessons with her best friends. Her best friend taught piano. So so in my family, it's five girls and two boys. So it was boy. I mean, I'm sorry, girl, boy, which is me, the second oldest. Girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, or girl, 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 girl at the very end. But what's up, brother? And 10 out here in Ohio. Ohio. How's the fuel prices out there? I got my CDL last September. I've been having trouble finding a job. Do you have any advice to give me? Shaquille, where are you out of? Kind of where you're out of, and kind of determine what your best option is on finding a job. But as I was saying, so my mom signed us up for piano lessons. I didn't want to play piano. I thought it was for girls, and so I was like, no, I don't want to play. No, I want to play guitar. I saw that movie Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and that rock, that grunge, was just hit my soul the right way. Okay, South Carolina. If you just got your CDL, if you want to stay local, look into Cisco or maybe a Benny Keith. I think they hire brand new people out of CDL school. And then I used to work with KLLM slash Frozen Food Express. I think they have a terminal out there, if I'm not mistaken. I think yeah, they do. It's in Rocky Mountain, something like that out there. You should check them out. FFE slash KLLM. I think they hire people brand new out of school. And maybe check a Swift terminal to see if they're out there too. Uh, and maybe a CR England. I'm not sure if they're out there or not. But yeah, check them out for sure. And if you other guys, everybody in the chat, if you guys have any suggestions for any new CDL jobs in the South Carolina area, comment that in there to help Shaquille out. Okay. Yeah, one of the drivers is saying that he's gonna grab something to eat. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. 3.95 to 4.10 a gallon. Oh wow, okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, I don't like Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, but Ohio is not my favorite. DOT always seems to give me a hard time out there. I don't know why. That is one difficult state for me to drive through. The past few times I was out there wasn't horrible, but I'm always paranoid about DOT. I don't know why. Ohio just gives me like a weird vibe. Like the Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky area always gives me like a weird DOT vibe going out there. Yeah, no problem. Anybody else, if y'all have any ideas about North Carolina or South Carolina jobs, even Georgia jobs, comment them for new CDL drivers. But as I was saying, so my mom, she signed us up for piano. I wanted to do guitar. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And she's like, no, I don't know anybody that plays guitar, and we really don't want to pay for guitar lessons outside of piano lessons. And man, all my DOT inspections came from Ohio. I told you, yeah, yeah. Ohio, woo, that's a difficult state to drive through. Um, but yeah, so she signed us up for piano, and she asked me. She said, "Please just try one piano lesson. If you don't like it, you can quit." And I was like, "If I do it, will you leave me alone?" She said, "Yes." And then the day we were getting ready for piano lessons, she was watching Oprah, which was weird because my mom never really watched Oprah like that. So she was watching Oprah back when Oprah had a talk show, which shows you how long ago this was. So Oprah was having a little talk show, and she had Jamie Foxx on there, and he was on there playing the piano and singing. And she was like, "See, like Jamie Foxx is doing it," and I was like, "Mom, that's not convincing anything. Like, I'm even skeptical about Jamie Foxx. Like, like nah, ma. Like, I said, but I'm gonna do it if it'll keep you quiet and leave me alone. I'll just do the one lesson." So me, my siblings and I, we had the first piano lesson, and my teacher was she was very impressed about how much I was soaking it in, me and my siblings, and she was like, "Hey, you're really good at this," and blah blah blah. And in that first piano, guys, she had taught me out of a kid's book. She tossed that kid's book and she put me in an adult book. And I think I was like 10, 11, maybe 12 years old when I first started piano. So in that first lesson, she was like, "You're too like you're soaking this in way too fast to do a children's book." So she said, "We're going to put you in an adult book." And so then I said, "Okay, yeah, that's fine because I'm quitting anyway." So on the ride back home, my mom was like, "Hey, you did really well in your piano lesson. I can't let you drop out because you're too good at it." And I was like, "Mom, like what happened to our deal? Like that's man, that's messed up." But I soaked it in. But what I did was that the knowledge I learned off of piano, I used it to teach myself how to play guitar because I learned my teacher. She taught us how to read music theory. She didn't teach us how to play the instrument. She taught us music as a whole, and so she taught us theory and how to read music and basically how to play for ourselves. Which is when I became a teacher. That's how I taught my students. And so because she taught me that way, I was able to translate that over to guitar. And then when I wanted to learn drums, I was able to translate that over to drums. But just a bit of a backstory to back up a little bit. When I wanted to learn how to play guitar, my dumb self, I didn't know the difference in guitars. I didn't know you had acoustic guitars, electric guitars, bass guitars. I didn't know there was a difference. And so when I was trying to learn guitar, I went out and there was a guy in my church who said, "Yeah, I'll teach you how to play guitar." And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "I have a guitar for sale and an amp. I'll sell you my guitar and amp, and I can teach you." I said, "All right, awesome." Now I bought a really nice bass and an amp. He sold it to me for like 150 bucks. I was like 13, 14 years old. That was the best thing I thought that could happen to me. But guys, coming to find out, it was a bass guitar. I wanted to learn electric guitar, like rock guitar. I ended up buying and learning bass guitar, not knowing the difference. And so I'm sitting there fumbling around with it. I'm like, this is not what I'm thinking of. And after talking to the guy after a while, he was like, "Oh no, this is bass. Like bass is a little bit different." And I was like, "No, I wanted to learn electric, but I had already bought stuff." So I went ahead and learned bass, but it just added an extra instrument to my repertoire. And so I learned bass, did a few gigs, saved that money up, and then bought an electric guitar. Taught myself the electric guitar, and just being around musicians and hanging out, after church, I went and bought, not bought, but I learned how to play the drums. And so I was able to play all these instruments just from learning the piano. And so when I went to college, I had different opportunities and scholarships and stuff for engineering. And I did it for like a year or two. Didn't like it. I mean, I liked it, but as a pastime. And so I had dropped out of that program I was in. My parents weren't the happiest, but they understood that it wasn't my passion. So I dropped out of that and I did music. And in doing music, I learned how to DJ. I learned how to produce music. I learned how to be like a studio musician. I learned how to make like the hip hop beats. I learned, like I said, the DJing. I was able to learn how to teach. There's one thing to play instruments, and it's a whole different thing to teach. So I taught, and then my wife and I, when we got married, I was able to, make my whole income off of music, whether I was teaching it, producing it, playing it, performing it, and then in that, I was able to learn how to songwrite. And so I was able to do songwriting, and then everything we did was music based. And then my wife was an awesome singer. We did the church musician thing, the worship leader thing. We did all of it. And that was probably like one of my favorite times of my life. I've done the whole touring thing where I went on tour, with different artists and my own tours. I even did the whole rapping thing, the Christian rap. I did that for a little while, and everything we did was around music. My wife and I, while we were dating, while we were engaged, and when we got married, everything we did was around music. And that's how we ended up in Atlanta. I had a deal, um, and we moved out to Atlanta so I could pursue that music career. And then my dad ended up getting sick. We learned that he had cancer, and with me being the second oldest out of seven, I wanted to go back to help my mom out because by the time we found out he had cancer, it was already at stage 4. There's a whole longer story. I'll get into that another time. And so I told my wife, I said, "Hey, we got to move back to Houston to help my mom out." And she was completely down for it. And so we moved back down to Houston. And then He ended up passing about 2 months later. And then a month after he passed, we found out my wife was pregnant with our firstborn. And so well, when you start having kids, things start changing a little bit. But at first, I didn't care. They were on the flights with me. They were on the RV, the tour bus with me. We were all over the place with the one child. And then the second one came. It was a little bit more difficult. And then the third one, we found out she was pregnant with the third one, and it was around the time COVID hit. And when COVID hit, it wiped out any musical idea, venture that we had. It knocked out all of it. When COVID hit, I had about a 50 city tour planned before COVID hit. And we tried to make it work. I had sponsors lined up. I had artists lined up because they were my shows that I was booking. And I was booking the artists, I was booking the venues, I had the sponsors, we had all that stuff lined up. COVID hit, and that wiped that out. It wiped out our music lessons company because the first thing people want to do was out of their budget during hard times is extracurricular activities. So they knocked out COVID. I mean, they knocked out their music lessons. And so our music lessons business went zoom. Our touring and our music went zoom. All my DJing gigs went zoom. We almost lost we basically lost every business venture we had because it was all based around music. And so when COVID hit, I told my wife, I said, the only thing that's going to be um, profitable during a pandemic is either nursing or trucking. And I have a soft stomach. Just seeing blood, guts, and bone makes me sick to my stomach. And so I said, the only thing that I know like the back of my hand is trucking because my dad owned his own trucking company for about 30 years. And so we went out and we bought a hot shot rig, and I had a dedicated contract with Drive Time hauling their cars around the Houston and Dallas area. And so we had did that, and then I saw the market for that was about to go down. And so then I told her, hey, I need to get my CDL. And that's when I went to Frozen Food Express slash KLLM to get my CDL through them. I did the company thing for about a year. Yeah, about a year and a half or so. Went to Cardinal Logistics, and then we had the inspiration to buy our own truck and come over here to Landstar. And that's how we're at where we're at now. But isn't it funny how I started in the music and all that kind of stuff, and here I am at Coachella, back in the music. They say God works in mysterious ways, but that's how I was able to kind of get into this tour stuff, kind of having that knowledge of music and how things work in the music business. Um, so everything just kind of came around full circle. But yeah, Rick, we do plan on teaching our kids music just as an extracurricular activity because for those of you who don't know, our kids, we're homeschooling them. Well, I say we. My wife is homeschooling our kids. So we have two boys, 4-year old, 2-year old. My daughter, I'm sorry, 4-year old, 3-year old. My daughter will be 2 in July, which is the same month my wife is due for our fourth one. So she stays at home, and she homeschools our three kids, soon to be four kids. And when I tell you they're super smart, they already know how to read. Well, my 4-year old and 3-year old are in the reading phase. My 4-year old is already writing, spelling his name. They know their alphabets. They can count up to a certain number. And even down to my 1-year old, like they know sign. They're learning sign language. Like when they want more food, there's something they do with sign language to let my wife know, hey, I'm still hungry. Um, or I'm all done. There's things that they do. So now I got to learn sign language because I don't know what they be talking about. But they're super smart with the whole homeschooling thing. Um, Back my siblings and I, all seven of us, we were homeschooled from kindergarten, well, pre-K, all the way up to the 11th grade. You know, and the boys know how to change tractor maps. Yeah. Oh yeah, they had so much fun with that. We like watching the YouTube channel Gentry and Sons, and so they like seeing Tim Gentry's son Brax, drive the trucks and work on the trucks and stuff like that. My son, my 4-year old, we bought him a little tool set, and he loves working on his little cars. My kids have like six of those. what do you call those things? Those power wheels, those cars that they drive. They got about six of them, and my 4 year old, he's got this big old monster truck one, and he likes getting his little tools. And whenever we're outside doing something, cutting the grass, hanging out, or whatever, he'll go out there with his tools and act like he's working on his monster truck. And so when I worked on those mud flaps, I wanted to get them involved in that to kind of experience actually working on something together. So I do want to eventually, of course, buy the project cars and stuff like that, so me and my sons can, get our hands dirty. And shoot, if my daughter, if she wants to get into that too, hey, come on out here and let's work these tools. But yeah, it's always fun. We try to keep everything family oriented. You know, we don't really want our kids out there, you know, and the stuff going on with the school system, guys. I mean, just the safety aspect of it, of people just walking into schools and shooting schools, malls, daycare centers, universities. Like it's crazy, and we want to be able to teach our kids, personally, just the different morals and characteristics that we want to instill with them and teach them. So everything that they learn, my wife's going to be teaching them, whether it's phonics, math, piano, anything like that. They're going to be learning directly from us. They are involved in the YMCA and church activities and like museum day, stuff like that. They're involved in all that kind of stuff to kind of keep them, interacting with other kids and stuff their age. But yeah, but you guys that are sitting here watching live, where are you guys checking in from? Okay, yeah, Shaquille, you majored in music. Okay, what were you planning on doing with that degree? If you got one, if you're planning on getting one, what were you planning on doing with it? Every now and then I do uh, fumble around on the piano a little bit. My wife bought me that piano a couple of years ago for my birthday. I had just gotten in from work. It was actually during COVID when I was doing Hot Shot. I had came in from a long night of work and sitting. I came home and I opened the door and the piano was sitting there. I was like, "What is this?" And happy birthday. And she had called her mom and like one or two of our friends, and they moved that piano into our house, guys. They went and picked it up and then somehow delivered that piano to our house. And so every now and then I do get on it. I wasn't really ear trained, but I still do try to play by ear a little bit. But I was more so taught to read music, and so you can put some sheet music in front of me, and I can't do it as well as I used to because I don't do it as often. But I can sit there and kind of fumble it, with whatever music that is put in front of me. But yeah, we're very music driven around our house. Even our kids, they like the dancing and the moving around. And I want to get the boys a drum set, but I also don't want to give the boys a drum set because they're noisy as it is. So maybe an electric drum kit, but being a drummer, it's not the same, not at all. So I want to get a real legitimate drum set, but I also don't want to deal with the noise, and I don't want my wife dealing with the noise when I'm on the road. Um, do you plan on going back to live music again? Um, that is a question I ask myself every day. That is a question my wife asks me quite a bit. I don't know. If the opportunity presented itself, maybe. Um, if the opportunity prevented if prevented itself and the money was right, I would do it. Cause when I tell you I'm making about 3 times as much now in doing trucking than I was doing music, the music it was just more so like the dream, kind of that carefree, do what we love kind of mentality. But now, especially having kids, it's more realistic. Had I stuck with it and COVID not have happened, we probably could have made a really nice, a nice lifestyle doing it. But now it's completely different. Everything is electronic, digital nowadays. It's not the same as it used to be after COVID, and it's a lot more difficult now. But I do still get music royalties from back when I did music and stuff. Actually, if you guys ever want to check out some of the music I did put out, If you go on YouTube and type in music mixer, Muzikmixer, that's one word, Muzikmixer, you guys can see some of the stuff that I did back in the music industry. I'm in Michigan, about 50 miles north of Detroit. Okay, nice. Yeah, my family's half of my family's from the Detroit area. Half is from Detroit, the other half is from St. Louis. I try to go out to St. Louis as much as I can, just because I kind of know what to expect from St. Louis. Detroit, on the other hand, woo, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to know where you're going for Detroit. That's a rough city. There's a cousin I talk to quite often out there in the Detroit area. I was a music teacher for 5 years. There you go. Yeah. What'd you teach? What'd you teach when you were out there teaching music? And I really do miss it, guys. Music teaching. And before I came over here to Landstar, when I was over there at KLLM, um, I was going to be a trainer over there just because I missed the teaching. I have just a heart for teaching. I don't know where it came from or why. But even now, where I'm at, I have a few of my friends that came over here to Landstar. I'm always teaching and helping them out. Um, and well, I don't go near the city of Detroit. I'm in the suburbs. Yeah, yeah. But I still do have that teaching spirit. So a lot of my friends that I've have coming over here to Landstar, I've been helping them out. Just cause I want to see everybody win. Middle school band. Oh man, I know that it was fun, but it was probably challenging at the same time because those middle schoolers, there's something else. I used to teach classroom back when my wife and I had first moved back to Houston after my dad had passed. Um, no, no, no. I'm not from Utah. I'm from Houston, Texas. But Utah is beautiful though. I wouldn't mind buying some like a little house or something like in the mountains of like the Utah, Wyoming, Idaho area in the middle of nowhere because it is beautiful out there. The mountains and the little streams of water and stuff like that. Um, I wouldn't mind buying like a little house, just like a secondary house out there in that area because it is beautiful out there. Like you would never know unless you pass through there. But I've talked to my wife. One day I came home and I was like, we should buy a house in Wyoming. She's like, what's in Wyoming? I was like, you got to go out there to see it because it's beautiful out there. Like you would never know until you experience it yourself. But yeah, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, even like South Dakota, those are all beautiful places out there. Iowa, there's some nice places out there in Iowa too. But I'm Southern. I'm give me a Southern meal any day. I'm your typical Southern Houstonian. But like I said, my family's from St. Louis. This is, I guess, where this kind of stuff came from. So a lot of the St. Louis nature out there, I'm really familiar with. Detroit, not so much. I should, but not really. But I do need to get out there. Every year, I tell my family in Detroit that I'm going out there to visit them. But then I sit at home and I look on the map and I see how far it is. And the last thing I want to do on my time off is obviously drive because uh, I do it for a living. I mean, it is different when the family's with you, but at the same time, it's the last thing I want to do if I'm being honest. So let's see, you guys checking in who are just here now. Where you guys from? Where you guys watching from? And then what's the weather like? Because the weather, it was like right there at the brim of getting too hot here in the Coachella area. I was on Michigan to Laredo Lane for about a year. I really like Texas. Yeah, when I tell you I go to Laredo at least twice a week, um, that's what I do. I go to Laredo about twice a week. The loads out there they're consistent and they're stable. From San Antonio, okay, yeah, okay. What part of San Antonio? San Antonio, I mentioned that in a previous video. San Antonio is not my favorite city. I don't like those cities like your San Antonios and your Austins to where it's a lot of people but a little bit of space. So it's like a lot of people are stacked up on top of each other, especially Austin. My wife, before we had got married, um, She stayed in Austin out there with her the Colombian side of her family. She stayed out there in the Austin area. And back, I was in the music business, with Austin being one of the top live entertainment cities in the nation. I used to intentionally book my shows out there often to go see her. When I was trying to, reel her in, you got to get that fishing line and reel them in little by little. I used to intentionally book shows out there and invite her to my shows when she lived in the Austin area. But that it's a small city, but it's just way too many people and it's just way too much going on. Where I live, out there in the Dayton, Texas area, outside of Houston, uh, there's a sign about 5 miles from my house that says population 650 people. That's where I like it. That's where my comfort zone is. That's where I'm trying to be. All the traffic and the chaos going on, that is just not me at all. Like your LA's, your even when I stayed in Atlanta for a little while, um, your LA's, your New York's, your Houston's, your San Antonio's, your Austin, Dallas. Oh, I can't stand Dallas. Woo, Dallas. Your Chicago's like that. That is just not me. It was about 80 in South Carolina. Okay, yeah. The weather's usually pretty beautiful out there. Oh, there's a Landstar truck right here in front of me, passing through this truck stop. But yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina is always beautiful. I love the weather out there. I think I went to Myrtle Beach once, if I'm not mistaken. It was beautiful out there. Actually, so South Carolina. So you're about what 4 hours ahead of me. It's almost 7 o'clock here. So what's going on about 11 o'clock there, if I'm not mistaken? The company made it mandatory to fill at Pilot Sulphur Springs. What a packed zoo all the time. It was like it at Pilot. Oh yeah, yeah. Back when I used to work at KLLM slash Frozen Food Express, we did the Pilot Flying J's. That's where they were contracted. So it was always when I tell y'all I had points and I was hauling reefer too. I was always filling up, as much as I could to get those points. But uh, but even now, as an owner operator, I'm still filling up at the Pilot Flying J's. I'm not. I hate Love's awards program because they don't give you anything and it expires. So if you ever catch me at a Love's, it's because that was really my only option. I don't do Love's. Like I hate their point system with a passion. Pilot Flying J is probably my favorite. What I do like about the TA Petro rewards points is that um, you get to use them at the. A lot of people don't know this. You get to use them at the what is it called? The Country Prides and the Iron Skillets. So if you decide to eat there, you have points. They'll use your points. It's almost 10 p.m. here. Okay, probably because of the daylight savings. Okay, right. Okay. I don't know why these guys are flying through here and honking their horns. I don't know what is going on. But uh, but yeah, the TA Petro. I appreciate their point system because I can use it, but I prefer Pilot Flying J. And within like a week, I'm already at like the 4x or the 5x fuel points. So even now, I have like over $100 in in fuel points over there at the Pilot Flying J's. And then their showers are kind of 50-50. But that Sulphur Springs location, it is pretty small in there. I personally don't like going in there, but if I just don't feel like driving anymore, that's usually where I go. Do you ever drive to Alaska? Landstar, we do have Canadian and Alaska contracts. Uh, it is on my bucket list of things to do. Uh, but if we're being completely honest, if you know me, guys, you know I hate the cold weather. I do not do. I'm from Houston, guys. Anything below, you guys are gonna judge me for this. Anything below 50, 55, I'm throwing a fit. Anything below, yeah, really anything below 50, I'm throwing a fit, guys. My comfort zone is like 60 and up. 60 and no wind. 60 and up. That's my comfort zone. That's where I want to stay. I'll take the 110-degree heat index over 40 degrees any day. Man, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I got that melanin. I got to put this melanin to work. Like that cold weather, I can't do it. I can't do it. Alaska, I would love to do it for the experience. Um, but after and half an hour to an hour of being there, I'm going to throw a fit. I just do not do that cold weather. Even taking loads up to Portland, Oregon, or to the Reno, Nevadas, and stuff like that. I'm throwing a fit. Is me too. Anything below 60? Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was saying 50 to 55 just so I don't seem totally out of there. But yeah, 60 and up, that's my comfort zone. That's where I'm trying to stay. Um, but going up north, I appreciate it, but anything after 30 minutes to an hour, I'm throwing a fit and I'm complaining the whole time. The snow, I don't like the snow. I don't like driving in the snow. I don't like touching the snow. I don't like looking at the snow. I don't like smelling the snow. Anything that has to do with snow, I can't stand it. Anything past, like I said, 30 minutes to an hour, it's like, okay, yeah, cool. You pull out your camera and video, whatever. Even in my YouTube videos, guys, if you ever see me videoing on one of my Facebook videos, I mean Facebook, but YouTube videos, and it looks like I'm enjoying the snow, it's all an act. It is all an act, guys. Being in the music industry, you learn how to act. You learn how to put up a front. But I'm not enjoying myself at all. So if you ever see me acting fake around the snow, or oh yeah, it's 40 degrees here and we're here all bundled up and I'm in the snow and this and that and blah blah blah, then call me out in the comment section because it's all a front. It really is. It says you might not want to live in Utah, or Wyoming. Then um, the reason I would like to do it, one, the scenery, it's not horrible like in the summertime out there. But my wife, you know how they say opposites attract. My wife loves the snow and she loves the cold weather. And so y'all can imagine it's always an intense topic of conversation when it comes to the difference in climates and temperatures. So she loves the cold, she loves the snow, like she loves all this stuff. Matter of fact, before we got married, where does she want to move? She wanted to move somewhere crazy. Oh, Colorado. That was always her dream place to move, Colorado. And I was like, nope. If you move to Colorado, you're going out there by yourself. Cause I refuse. So so that's always a hot topic around the an intense hot topic around the house. But she loves the cold weather. I can't stand it. But for my kids to experience it and kind of let them kind of determine what they like. I wouldn't mind getting a house out there. But if y'all, like I said, if y'all ever see me in YouTube, I'm in the snow and it's raining and it's sleeting and it's this and that and the third and blah blah blah. We're out here throwing snowballs and ha ha ha. I'm having so much fun. No, in the comment section, call me out on it because that is not the case. All right, how long? I'm almost been here. Okay, so in about 10 minutes, you guys, I'm going to sign off so I can go check out some Bad Bunny. And then they do feed us over there at the location. And guys, when I tell y'all that Coachella takes care of you, they got some really good food over there. For me, I hate to work in the winter weather because sometimes it's cozy. There's something cozy about being outside when it's up. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, yeah, you get to turn on the heat and get under the covers and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do. I do like that about the winter months. It has that kind of a coziness feel on the inside. But the second I step outside, guys, I'm complaining the whole entire time. But yeah, for those of y'all just tuning in, I'm just sitting here chilling at the Coachella TA. And guys, I met one of my subscribers the other day, Al. I met him over here at the TA over here at the Popeyes over here while I was getting some new tires put on my truck. Um, if you ever see me in public, come up and say hi. Like I am not that guy to where it's um I'm like not approachable. If you guys ever see me in public, come say hi, pull me aside, say what's up. You know, how you doing? Blah blah blah. We can have a meal. You know, depending on where we're at or whatever. You know, I'll treat you out to lunch if we're somewhere just hanging out or whatever. Treat you out to lunch or dinner or coffee or whatever, and we'll just hang out and have a good time. Um, I will warn you, like I said, my family's from St. Louis, and there's a look that people call the St. Louis face. So if you ever see me out in public, my wife even calls it the St. Louis or my last name is Spencer, so she calls it the Spencer face. There's a look that we have. Um, I guess it's a mean mug. I guess when you're like from being in like in the Midwest, you have like this demeanor about yourself to where it's a stone cold look that you're giving off. So if y'all ever see me in public, that's just my resting face. Just come up and say hi, and we'll have a good time. I may have that look on my face. My wife's always, why do you have that look on your face? Sorry. But if y'all ever see me in public, just come up and say hi. Anytime. What type of music did you do? So I did everything. On the piano, I was classically trained. So I learned off of like your Beethoven. Like Beethoven was my favorite, guys. That Moonlight Sonata. Oh, love playing that song. Beethoven, Mozart. Um, uh, I'm throwing a brain fart on a lot of the of those composers. Um, but my passion, what I loved, you guys are gonna probably throw you off for a loop. But my favorite is rock. I love it. 80s rock, your Guns N' Roses, your Bon Jovis, your who else? Oh, my favorite band of all time, guys, is Journey. Your Journey is my all time favorite band. One of my favorite singers is Steve Perry. That guy has some vocals like any other. One of my favorite songs that he sings is When You Love a Woman. Um, Steve Perry had a very unique, very uh, familiar voice. That's one thing I loved about him. I love the grunge and like your Bon Jovi or your Guns N' Roses. Um, who else? 80s, 80s, 80s. I'm throwing a brain fart here. Um, who else? Your Leonard Skinner's. Um, but pretty much anything 80s. Like one of my favorite movies is Karate Kid, and a majority of that the reasoning is because of the 80s rock. I love that 80s rock and roll. Love that music. My second favorite, probably close to being first favorite, is like your 90s, early 2000s alternative rock. Like I say Journey's my favorite, but a close second is probably Creed. I love Creed. Creed, your Scott Stapp. Love his songwriting. Love his voice. Love his creativity when it came to music. Creed is one of my favorites. Holland Oates, yeah, exactly. Um, Three Doors Down, love their music. Some of y'all are gonna judge me for this, but Nickelback, a lot of their old music. Who else, guys? Who else do I listen to? Um, like I was born in '93, so like a lot of the '80s music rolled over to me. Uh, and then a lot of that '90s, and I grew up in that '90s era. Who else? Oh, even like a little bit of hip hop, like your Eminem. I loved his music. But like your old school hip hop, like this new stuff, like a lot of this stuff going on here at Coachella, I don't know who those artists are. I mean, I heard about them in passing, just being in the music industry. You kind of hear names and you're familiar with them, and then having students that were familiar with these artists. Um, where did you do gigs? So a little bit of both in Austin. Um, when I was in Austin, I would do a few live gigs just to earn some income. There were a few reggae spots down there that I used to go to down there, and just to earn a little bit of money. A musician couldn't make it last minute, so somebody called me and said, "Hey, so and so hopped out. Can you come fill in?" And I would pack up my equipment and drive out to Austin to perform at a gig, just to earn a little bit of money. But a majority of the time it was solo, but I would always have like an entourage or a crew around me. I had my tour manager, I had a drummer, I had my photographer, my graphic designer, uh, and just a few friends who wanted to get out the house. LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg. Yes, thank you. Yes, exactly. DMX. Um, who else did I listen to? Oh, I'm out here in California. Duh, your NWA. Like I did prefer West Coast over East Coast. Little bit of Jay Z, a little bit, but even like your old school Beyonces and Whitney Houston. Come on, guys, help me out. Who else? Who else? Christina Aguilera's. Y'all are gonna judge me for this. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Like when I'm riding around, if y'all ever catch me riding around, that's what's gonna be blasting out of my truck. Uh, but like I said, the '90s. Oh, that's the one I like. Evanescence, guys. Oh man, I love me some Evanescence. Just Trucking has a new gig hauling tanker, making a day, 21 per month. Yeah, I did see that. I watched that video today, actually. Yes, Aaliyah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, help me out, guys. Who else? Who else is it like in that '80s, '90s, early 2000s phase? Okay. You thought you got me there with the R. Kelly, huh? You thought you got me. Um, I'm not gonna say yay or nay to that suggestion there. But Michael Jackson, he was a huge influence in my songwriting and in my R. Kelly. That was smooth. It almost got me. Um, Michael Jackson, that was a huge impact on my songwriting ability and just my thinking outside the box when it came to music. But if I had to be honest, I was Team Prince. Prince was a huge inspiration on me learning the guitar and thinking outside the box. Because Prince, he could play everything he got his hands on, and so Prince was one of my all time favorites. Huge inspiration on music. Who else do I have here? And current artists and bands and musicians. Um, what's the name? I just saw it. Jason Aldean. I love Jason Aldean. His country music. I like Lainey Wilson. My wife and I love that show Yellowstone. Guys, if you know, you know. Uh, what else? Jackson Five. My dad being from Detroit. We grew up on that Motown, guys. Heavy. Your Jackson Fives, your Temptations, your Diana Rosses, your Supremes. And for those of you who don't know, the Five Heartbeats, that movie, that was not a real group. But was it like the Tops? I can't think of the name of that group. But your David Ruffins, your what's that guy's name? Eddie Kendricks. Uh, what's the guy's name? Usher. Thank you. Yes, yeah. And that's what I grew up on, like real music. This stuff nowadays, guys, I don't listen to it at all. Um, One, the message behind it, like, it's just so corrupt now. Like even my kids, I don't even want them listening to this. Like my kids know more of these artists that I'm naming than the people out there now. But just the current people I listen to, I do still listen to Eminem a little bit. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Thank you. Yes, Eddie Murphy. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Um, but we don't listen to this new stuff. But as a current, like your Eminem, I still do check out. Kendrick Lamar, he still talks about legitimate stuff. Uh, I don't really listen to Jay Z all that much, just kind of in passing. Ice Cube, I used to love Ice Cube back in the day. Who else? Like I said, your country artists, your Lainey Wilsons, your Jason Aldeans. Who else? Um, I'm throwing a brain fart here, guys, but y'all kind of get like what I listen to. Um, Actually, yeah, like I said, Evan Essence, your Amy Lee's. Who else? I have a buddy of mine who's actually he's actually a famous artist. His name is Second Chance. SeccondChance. That's a friend of mine from Texas. Yeah, yep, George Strait. Yep. Not a huge fan of him, so I listen to him often, but in passing, yeah, I do listen to his music. I have here. What do I have here? Your Bon Jovi's. Oh, Daughtry. I do like Daughtry. Hoobastank. Listen to them. A group called O Town. They have a song called All or Nothing. Uh, I said Michael Jackson, Journey, Seether. I listen to them. Like I said, Jason Aldean, Creed. Who else do I have here? Um, oh, November Rain by Guns N' Roses is one of my favorites. Uh, what's the name of that group? What's the name of that group, guys, that does that song "In the End"? Another group called Shine Down. I listen to. Here it is, "In the End." What's the name of that group? Linkin Park. Duh, Linkin Park. I listen to them. Love their music. Matchbox 20. I've checked out their music, but not consistently. I do need to check them out some more. And being a truck driver, I have all the time in the world to do that. Who else do I listen to? Oh, Bruno Mars. I do listen to Bruno Mars' music. NSYNC. Brian McKnight. I did listen to his music. My mom was a huge Hobson. Yes. My wife is watching you guys. She knows me too well. She's gonna be mentioning artists that are my guilty pleasures that you guys should not know about. Um, so she's gonna be throwing some artists I listen to that you guys are gonna judge me from. Whitney Houston, yep, definitely, exactly. Um, you guys say hi to the wife. She's watching from our joint YouTube. Bobby Brown, yeah, Bobby Brown and uh, New Edition, yeah, yeah. Listen to their music. Anything Motown or of that kind of feel. My dad grew up on that stuff. I'm sitting here now. I'm looking at Becky G. I do listen to her music back when it was back in the day. Oh, Avril Lavigne. Listen to a lot of Avril Lavigne. Even my wife and I now around the house. That's the kind of music we have playing, in the background. Uh, my wife's probably going to mention this one. I don't want to mention this one because you guys are really going to judge me. Uh, who else do I have on here? Shawn Mendes has a few songs. I'm not really a huge fan. He's way too nasally for me. Um, who else do I have? Backstreet Boys, of course. There is an artist that is a guilty pleasure. Oh, One Direction. I did listen to their music a little bit. Harry Styles a little bit. I actually caught the tail end of his tour last year. We got to haul some of his equipment last year. A little bit of Carrie Underwood. Uh, Little Wayne. Back in the day, Little Wayne, not this crazy stuff he be talking about now. Um, let's see, who else do I have on here? But the artist I was talking. Oh, Rihanna. Love Rihanna's music. That was my crush growing up. Um, who else do we have here? So the guilty one, guys. I was trying to pass through. My wife's probably gonna mention it anyway. Is surprisingly Taylor Swift. I do check out her music from time to time. I wasn't really a huge fan of her country stuff, but her new pop stuff. I actually really like her pop music. A lot of it is just having students and teaching them the music and kind of learning from them. Kind of helped me kind of step out of the box and hear different artists and hear different things from different people that I never knew even existed. Linkin Park, there you go. Yep, one of my favorites. They have that song "In the End" that I love. Kanye West. Um, yeah, from time to time I do kind of pass through listening to Kanye West music. Um, he does make excellent music. I was just never 100% of a fan of his music. It's great music. It just wasn't my always my cup of tea. But in passing, like if a song pulled up or something, I would, of course, listen to it. Sublime. Never really listened to them that much. I do need to look into that more often. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. Some of these guys that you're mentioning that I'm kind of passing through, I'm gonna be saving them and checking them out later. Um Trying to see if there's any other ones I kind of just passed through here. Um, but yeah, back when I did music, I did all of it. I love the rock. I love the classical, the hip hop, a little bit of more so country music, yes, but more of like on the country rock spectrum. I'm trying to think of anything else. Um, I really do like ballads. I don't know what it is about ballads, just that kind of that feel you get from them. I love them. Love the storytelling kind of music. Um, that's why I love like the Eminems and the Evanescence, you know, and the Creeds and the Guns and Roses. Like I love the storytelling music. Um, but I don't see anybody else. But yeah, the Stevie Wonders. Yeah, I love their music. I'm always checking them out. But Planet Moolah, you almost got me on that R. Kelly. You almost got me to admit it. Almost. Um, but yeah, as you guys can see, actually, Sugar Ray, not so much, but in passing, yes, definitely. But I'm actually in the process, guys, of uploading a video from today's stuff. Today, or is it today? Let me get my days mixed up. No, it was yesterday. Yesterday we went to go drop off what's his name? Uh Bad Bunny's equipment. Yes, Green's Day. Yep, definitely. One of my favorites. Um so yesterday morning we dropped off Bad Bunny's equipment back over at Coachella because after his performance we had to sit on it. Stone Temple, not so much, but I do need to look more into their music. Um So yesterday we dropped off Bad Bunny's equipment. We picked it up right after his performance last week, and so we sat on it all week for they used our trailers for storage, and so we're delivering it. Um, well, we delivered it yesterday, so now we're just sitting and waiting for his performance tonight, and then we're going and we're picking it up after his performance tonight, which is gonna be super super late tonight. And then we're taking it to God knows where. Some of it goes to Miami, some of it goes to Pennsylvania. Not looking forward to either of those drives, but if I had to pick one, it's gonna be Pennsylvania because I can find a decent load coming out going home. Florida, not so much. Outcast, definitely. Yep. See, that song just clicked in my head. That dun 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 dun. Um, let's see here. I have a video uploading now. When will it be finished? It says it published, and it's let's see. It should be uploading here in a minute. But for those of y'all who don't know, I installed lights up under my grill. I had one of the subscribers say, "Hey, you should install the lights under your some lights under your grill because I have a big grill." And so I took that advice. I'm cheap, so I went to Five Below, bought some LEDs strips, and I put them under the grill. So y'all will see that in the video I posted today. And I also had a very difficult backing because one thing about these stadiums, arenas, convention centers, the backing and the maneuvering, as you can imagine, is some of the hardest backing that you'll do throughout your trucking career. And so I had somewhat of a difficult backing. I was making it more difficult than it was, if I'm being honest. But in the video, y'all will see that, and y'all will see my installation of the lights. And actually, I installed some LEDs back there in the sleeper. Y'all will see that in the video too. What else did I do in the video? What does that say? And then we offloaded his Bad Bunny stuff all over again. Y'all will see that. But my home time as a trucker, I try to be home every weekend. That is my goal. I used to run a pretty much of a 3-6 mafia. Actually, just a little side note. Back when I was in the music industry, I did do a lot of work with a guy named Mr. Dale who was in 3-6 Mafia. He was trying to get me signed on to his label. He's doing Christian music now, and he's got a few artists signed on under his label that's contracted under Universal Records. And so part of the touring I did it with him. So Mr. Dale, I still kind of keep in contact with him a little bit. He was from a 3-6 Mafia. But back to what I was saying. So what was I saying? But so y'all will see that in the video for today's video of everything that we did yesterday. Y'all see the light install and all that. Oh, I know. I was saying my home time. So I try to be home every weekend. Um, let's see. What's it say here? Give me a second, guys. Uh, where'd it go? I lost the comment. Here it is. You have to get a steering knob. I can trust me. I started using one 7 months ago. From pilot. Yeah, I've been seeing those steering knobs that you attach on the steering wheel. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I do need to go ahead and try it. One day I am. I'm going to go ahead and try that. I've been seeing them. I've been hearing about them. My dad never used one. With him being a trucker for like 30 years, he never used one. So I never got immune to using one, but I'm definitely gonna try it. Uh, just to try something different. But I have heard that it is a lot easier to use. But back to what I was saying, I do try to go home every weekend. Worst case scenario, every other weekend. The only reason I did this tour is because the tours, um, they pay really, really good. I say really, really. They pay really good, especially for the time being, with the rates being super low right now. The tours, for those of you who don't know, the tours pay gross before everything. Um, the tours pay between 8 to 12 grand a week gross, before expenses and before everything. But the trick to the tours is that you don't spend that much money in fuel. Like, we've been sitting here at Coachella for almost 2 weeks, spending money. A lot of the guys, go to the bars. They go to Vegas. They went to Vegas. They went to the beach, the cigar lounges. They've been all over the place. So if anything, you spend more money than you make just sitting all week. But we haven't burnt any fuel. So making 8 to 12 grand gross a week is not that bad because you're not burning any fuel sitting here. Your maintenance is going to be super low because you're not putting any miles on a truck. So they pay about 8 to 12 grand a week gross. And so the only reason I took this Coachella gig is because there's no stress of running up and down the highways and trying to book that next load and worried about this appointment and worried about that appointment. So that's the only reason I did take the tour. It's about a 3 to 3.5 week ordeal because now we got to drive to God knows wherever to go drop this stuff off. But so that's the reason I took this. But I try to go home every weekend, especially with the wife being pregnant and baby number four due in July. Is it June or July? I think it's July. Um, I try to be home every weekend. Worst case scenario, if the rates are like either horrible, and I'm trying to make up revenue, or if they're really really good to where I just need to stay on the road to make the money. Every other weekend, worst case scenario, unless there's a tour that pays really good and it's an opportunity that I need to take. But there's a lane that I used to run with a few Landstar agents that I got plugged in with, and I was just running Houston, Laredo to Baton Rouge, and occasionally like Dallas. I was just doing that, so I was home every other day, and I had the weekends off. Love doing that. Um, just trying to make decent revenue and be at home. But actually, while I'm sitting here talking to you guys, before I log off, I'm going to get the lights going back here. Here, let me take you guys. Excuse my messy sleeper, guys. I have not. Well, I've had plenty enough chance to clean it, but I just been too lazy. So the lights back here in the sleeper. The heck? Why can I close this thing? Oh, here we go. So the lights back here in the sleeper, they come with the remote. There we go. So they have like the slow thing going here, or they have more of a fast. Which I don't like those because we're not having a party back here in the truck. Come on, let's see. Yeah, that's the one I like right there, the slow one. And then I have one over here too. Uh, where the remote just go? Let's do some slow. There we go. So yeah, back here in the sleeper, we have this LED strip here. Got the LED strip over there. Yeah. And then grab my other remote, and I'll show you guys uh, my other little venture out here. I don't know if y'all can see it too much, but there's some lights going on in there. So you got the little remote there, and you just push the buttons, and it lights up. But at night, it looks really good. Got Mr. Karan parked over here next to me. I think he's over there on the phone. Say what's up, Karan. We on YouTube Live. So yeah, so we got the truck all lit up here. So I do want to put more lights down here on the bumper. I do want to change out this up here and get one of those drop visors. I have the lights under here. I did want to do that. I want lights all over the bumper. Eventually, I want to get some of those air breather lights that go right here. I want to get the ones that go inside the air breather as well. I want to get something under the steps, like the undercarriage lights. Like, guys, actually, I want to look like this guy. See that truck over there? I'm trying to be like that. So I want to get lights there. Where else? And then also, I want to change out those lights there to kind of have that glowing effect off the trailer. But yeah, I am. Somebody asked me if I'm buying my truck. So the way it works, I know somebody over here at Landstar. When I first came over here, I didn't have my own truck. But with Landstar, you have your it's owner operator only. So um, you have to have your own truck when coming over here. But there's a loophole, and the loophole is that there are people over here at Landstar that have fleets and they own their own trucks. And so there's a guy I know over here who's actually there's two guys. They're investors. They're like millionaire investors. Yes, I have an Instagram. It's the same thing, Lone Star Texas Ranger. But yeah, so they're millionaire investors, and they have a fleet of about 80 to 90 trucks under Landstar. And so they have an opportunity to where you can be a company driver and run under them, or um, they will let you buy one of their trucks. Like if you're driving their truck and you like it, they give you an opportunity to buy that truck through like it's not a lease purchase, but it's like an owner finance. You work up a contract with them and you can purchase your truck from them. And so they have trucks like mine. They have trucks like Karan's truck, all the way up to brand new, as you guys saw, brand new 2023, brand new 2024 W900s, which those trucks are going for about 280. I didn't pay nowhere near uh, that for my truck because um, once I get my truck paid off, they help me put a driver in my truck because they have so many drivers. They always they're usually short trucks, and so they're usually short trucks. So they will help you put a driver in your truck. Yeah, Rick, I'll send you the information. Um, hit me up on Instagram, and then I'll shoot you over my phone number, and I can call you and discuss how all that works. But they will allow you to buy if you like the truck that you're driving. They will allow you to buy it, but they um, they sell you the truck for what the truck is worth, or if you're buying a brand new truck, they sell it to you for what they paid for it, and they give you their interest rate, which is it's 9%, 9% on the interest rate. So you pay what they pay for the trucks. They don't make any money off the trucks. They make money because they also have their own Landstar agency, and you haul a majority of their freight. So they have a lot of direct customers, which is where I get a lot of good paying loads. Guys, when I tell you, make sure nobody's listening. When I tell you there's a run that I do, I told y'all that I'm in Laredo a lot. There's a drop and hook run that I do hauling hazmat totes from Houston to Laredo. It's like 42 to 44,000 pound load. It pays $3,100. Specifically, it pays 31.35, $10.31 a mile. It's like a 6 mile drive, 300 miles away. From Houston to Laredo, 6 hour drive, 300 miles. It pays 3,100 bucks. So they have connections like that the typical average BCO, which is what we call Landstar drivers over here, BCOs don't have that. So they have connections for good freight, and they also have their own freight. Like these tours are theirs. So yeah, I'll be passing through. If I go to Miami, I'll be passing through El Paso on my way back. If you're out of El Paso, let me know, and we'll try to link up while I'm out there. But like I said, they don't make money off the trucks. They make money off of the freight that you haul for them. And so once you pay off the truck, they have a super easy way for you to pay off their trucks. And they would even let you buy one of their trucks with zero down, you guys. When I bought my truck, I didn't have zero down for my truck at all. I didn't have that money. I think mine was like my down payment for my truck was like $17,000. I didn't have $17,000 cash. I had just bought my house. I didn't have the money up front. And to be honest, I didn't have like the excellent credit to get like an excellent interest rate either. So um, they will let you buy a truck with zero down, and it's the same interest rate. It's the same cost on the truck. What they're going to do is just take out 20% of your revenue, because as an owner op, they give you 50%. It's a whole numbers thing, but of that, of the 20%, they take out that 20% towards your truck principal. And so once you buy the truck, you're completely in charge of the truck. You can do whatever you want with it. As y'all can see, I'm putting lights and stuff all on my truck, but it's your truck. But the kicker is, if you get fired by Landstar or if you get fired by them, which they're really cool, easygoing people, um, then you lose the truck. And Landstar, when I tell you they're super strict on a lot of things, they're super strict. So you have to do what you need to do and be super careful. They do require that you have your hazmat coming over to Landstar, but you don't have to utilize your hazmat. But if you get your hazmat, get your tanker too, because then you can haul those hazmat totes that I haul. Um, but yeah, so they have programs over here to where if you don't have your own truck, you can come over here to Landstar. So if you guys ever want to come over, let me know. I can get you plugged in with these guys if you don't have your own truck. They have these tour contracts. They have those Houston to Laredo contracts. They even have a hopper bottom contract that these investors they just got. They have flatbed contracts, heavy haul contracts, but they get these contracts through Landstar. So they have their own dispatching agency, their own company, but it's contracted under Landstar. So I still get paid off of Landstar. My loads are still booked off the Landstar load board. You can self dispatch. They have a dispatcher on hand that can help you dispatch if you need the help. Uh, Maintenance on your truck. That's another kicker. The maintenance on your truck. Let's say right now, my truck breaks down, uh, and it's a actually, see, there's a guy back there, guys. Landstar driver right there. Uh, he's one of the guys. He's buying his truck. He's buying that truck from them guys. But with these investors, if my like, let's say for instance, my truck breaks down, that's a $5,000 repair. With my truck breaking down, I just call them. They pay for the repair, and then we just work out a payment plan to get that repair bill taken care of. If my truck is in the shop for a week, 2 weeks, they just put me in another one of their trucks to keep running while my truck is in the shop. So I never sit still for too long. So that has happened. One time my truck did break down. I had a repair that needed to happen. I just jumped in one of their, they had like a 2015 or 2016 Cascadia I jumped in. I ran that for like 3 or 4 days, parked it, got back in my truck, and I was still going. So they have other trucks you can jump in. They help you on your repair bills. I've seen it happen with myself, and I've seen it happen with other drivers. I'm trying to think of what else. They do have their own. They just opened their own mechanic shop out there in the Fort Worth area, which y'all saw that in the video that I was promoting. They have their own mechanic shop, and so we get discounts being under their fleet. We get discounts on our repair bills and stuff. And a lot of the parts and stuff we get wholesale because they order them straight from the dealer. So they have a lot of opportunities over here. So you can either run company driver under them, or you can buy your own truck with them. So if you're a company driver, they pay you 30% after fuel is deducted. If you're an owner operator through them, they pay you 50% after fuel is deducted. But while you're paying off the down payment on your truck, from that 50%, they take out that 20% and they put it towards your truck principal. So at the end of the day, you're still making the same as a company driver while you're paying off your truck. Off your down payment. So whether you're owner op paying for your down payment or whether you're a company driver, you're still making the same 30%. So why not buy your own truck? And when you quit, at least you leave with something. You go home with something. So that's my mindset on it. A lot of people, I mean, some people don't agree with that, but hey, it is what it is. And if you guys know, I'm not really big on the whole credit system and having the perfect credit score. My wife and I, we've done the whole Dave Ramsey plan. So when it comes to credit and all that kind of stuff, I don't like I don't like the whole credit system how it's set up, to fail and everything. But anyway, because it's a an owner finance situation, it doesn't go on your credit. So if the industry dies or you lose a contract or something happens and you lose that truck or you get fired from Landstar, it doesn't go on your credit because it's an owner finance. And so that's why one reason I liked it. I love my truck. My truck, I've never had a problem out of it. I had to replace a knock sensor once, and there was a heater hose that went out. But I just took it up there to their shop out there in Fort Worth. They had me in and out of there, and I was back on the road within hours. So, but yeah, that's kind of a synopsis of what I'm doing. I'll kind of get them incorporated more into the videos in the future. But anyway, you guys, it's been I've been on here forever, almost an hour and a half. Karan and I are probably gonna grab some food and go check out the Bad Bunny show, and then we're gonna go get staged for um, for picking up Bad Bunny's equipment when he's finished tonight. So we're gonna go watch the show. Go over here across the street, go watch the show, and go hang out for a little bit, grab some food. But in the meantime, I have a video. It should be uploading if it hasn't uploaded already. I can't really see it. But in the meantime, you guys stay safe out there. Y'all be humble out there. Keep God first. Once nightfall hits, guys, that's gonna be lit up. Uh, I'm gonna get off of here. You guys stay safe, be blessed, stay humble. And if y'all ever see me out there on the road, let me know. Come say hi. So I'll treat you to a dinner or to a coffee or something. But check out the video that's about to drop or that has dropped. Leave a comment. Thank you guys so much. We're actually on the way of getting monetized on YouTube. So hopefully by the end of the month we can be monetized. I have to get 1,000 subscribers to get there. So you guys help me out. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All that stuff helps. But we will see you guys on the next one. You guys stay safe and be blessed.